Good morning from day 2. I just took a look at the weather forecast. It's been raining most of the night and still quite gloomy out. What I've decided to do is actually make this an out and back, so it's going to be a 2-night or 2-day trip. Go back to the car and then we're going to drive around and do a couple of things in the area, so this will still be a considerate, a constant series of Yorkshire. And then we are going to wait the weather out and then start hiking again on Tuesday when the weather's looking a little better. So it probably won't be the entire Cleveland way, but we're going to do a section of it. So I just didn't bring the right gear for this kind of weather. I've got my pack cover. The dog pack covers are with my resupply, and the temperatures have dropped a lot lower than the weather forecast was predicting, and I don't have my puffy jacket. I also don't have a secondary base layer, so I was packing according to the weather forecast. I'm doing all right. I'm warm, but I don't want to keep going like this. I think it can be a safety thing. So we're gonna pack up. We're gonna head back to the car. And it's been a really great couple of days out, but just don't really want to spend the next 3 days with soaking wet feet and being wet and cold. But we'll still take you with us. So we're gonna go probably check out Revo Abbey, since we didn't get to do that. And we'll find a couple other things to do in the area for the next couple of days before getting back on the trail on Tuesday. So, if you are looking at me from the background or judging by the background, I'm actually not going back. I walked out of the campsite, I was packed up, ready to go. Mentally, I wanted to be back. Josh wasn't wanting to do this, knowing what the weather's going to hold. But at the same time, I got out to the track. I turned to go back to the car and something stopped me. And I stood there for a good 10 minutes, staring off over the landscape, trying to decide what I wanted to do, what I'd regret not doing. And in the end, that stubbornness won out, and we are crossing the moors to Osmotherly. My feet are cold. Put my only pair of dry socks on other than my sleep socks. I'm hoping that the rain's not as bad as it was yesterday. If it is, we'll wait it out. I can always get a cab back to the car or to Kildale camping barn where we're at tomorrow night. Now tomorrow's looking worse than today is, but being that we are in a camping barn tomorrow, less worried about the weather, but I'm hoping we'll be all right. We're ways of staying dry, just we might have to pause in certain places and just wait it out, so we'll see, but we're gonna keep going on the Cleveland way at this point. But don't ever hold it against yourself. Give yourself permission to quit if you need to. If your head's not in it, if you're just not feeling something right in it, don't be scared to say, I've had enough, I want to be done, I need to be done for my physical health or for my mental health. It's important to embrace that and realize that, notice that in yourself. Just come across here, which says this is the site of the Lime Kiln House Inn, managed by Kendalls and Cowtown families. Sadly, no evidence that the inn remains. It'd be a nice place to have one, but looks like there's a little grave marker over here too, just right there. A little sheep paying their respects. Just came across this view. And all those rocks. Absolutely stunningly beautiful now. Cloud cover coming in. I think the Lake District has a run for its money. Finally warming up. Feet are warm, and at this point warm feet means that my socks and my shoes are drying out, which would be nice. I did put a dry pair on. Couldn't face putting wet socks on this morning. So, man, look at that view. That is stunning. Absolutely incredible out here. This trail, 10 out of 10. Just so far, and I know a little bit on the other end, which I know is just as stunning in a very different way. So, you can see the track looking back on the way we came. Where we camped, right in that grove of trees back there. Again, promised land that promise wasn't so promising. But trail's been great so far, just this wide gravel tracks. And you can tell we're in peat moorland because the water's all stained brown. Used to think that was kind of gross when I was a kid, but now it's just, well, it's a stained color. Nothing wrong with it. Just shows you it's natural and from the earth. Confused. What is this gold bright ball in the sky? This is not what they forecast today. Of course, we've still got a lot of the day to go. Really nice to see that coming out for a little bit. I think I'm gonna have to lose my base layer here shortly. I've already lost the sweater, but I am wearing my base layer pants because it was cold this morning. So get rid of those here. Probably by the time we leave, get to Osmotherly. Because that's getting quite warm now, and I'm loving it. So we're just coming off of, it's called Hambleton down Hambleton End. We're gonna hit Square Corner where there's parking for this section. And then we take a left over, and I don't know if you can see it behind me, right over there. And that's Osmotherly down there. And we'll be climbing back up onto the moorland. It's about 11.5 miles to Clay Bank. I just gotta be a little careful because if there's no shelter up there and the rain's coming in, so we just kind of want to keep an eye on the weather today before we put ourselves in some places where we can't find shelter from bad weather and put ourselves potentially in a bad situation. We just got to Square Corner. We've got 2 miles to Osmotherly, but just in that sunlit area is right where we came from. So yeah, came right down from behind that massive hill. This is Hambleton the nose of Hambledon down anyway. Well, you can certainly tell we're getting to the end of summer. All the bracken is turning brown. But what's interesting, it's all interspersed with this blue or this purple lavender, which makes it kind of a unique mixture of colors. It's quite pretty in its own unique way. We've just dropped down off the moorland and this beautiful woodland, and we're walking beside Jenny Brewster Spring, which dumps down into a reservoir down here. I believe it looks like Oakdale Upper Reservoir. Assuming it's one of the reservoirs that supplies the surrounding areas, but it's a really pretty area though. Looks like we're going to cross another spring or creek here too. Okay, does this mean that they are casting for a Fly movie? Is that like the sequel to Bee Movie? I joke because I actually fly fish, so I just thought the terminology used was quite funny right there. So, walking along the reservoir and coming along more pheasant game birds through here. So we're just coming into the town of Osmotherly. There's a church right on the corner, so I'm assuming that has a little bit of shelter. I think there's some more rain coming in. We had to stop back there for a 10-minute shower, which that is what I call the shower, something you can hide under a tree for, and it only lasts 10 minutes. So we'll get down here. It's about the right time to take lunch anyway. So yeah, just walking through sheep fields. So I think I might have to put the dogs on leashes through here. Cody, let's go, come on, let's go. Go, move on. Okay, this is one of my least favorite things here, worse than kissing gates, because these kind of stiles are impossible to get through with the dogs with their packs on. It makes no sense to have those kind of stiles for backpacking trails when people are trying to get through there with backpacks, and some of us are kind of short. We got another one coming up, which is so frustrating, but I know they last and they stop animals going through. just walking through town of Osmotherly. Stopped at the church, had some lunch there. Was gonna hope that they had a water tap, but they didn't, which is quite unusual. Usually they've got one outside. But stopped at the pub for them to fill up some water, and they kindly did so. So back onto the moors and go as far as we can, because the weather's looking better today than it is for tomorrow. Currently trying to outrun that rain. I'm hoping, what I believe down here is a big area of trees that should provide some cover, so we should get there in time. So I think these are some of the prettiest looking cows I think I've ever seen, and I've been around cows a lot. No idea what breed they are though, but I love their patterning. Alright, we made it to the trees. That's coming in. Although the worst of it actually looks like it's going to the south of us, so I'm not going to complain if it does, but we at least are in here with a little bit of protection from some big trees, so not a kissing gate for the dogs to come through. Well, so much for the worst of it going around us, but we have this big, beautiful tree to shelter us, so not too bad. Well, that was a little bit more than a shower, but it's done now. And we're climbing up and out onto the moorland again. And we stayed really dry under that tree, which is really nice. But it was only about 15 minutes, which was doable. I wasn't sitting there for 2 hours like on the South Downs way. So not only is it the dead and dying bracken that's telling us that fall is upon us, it's the beginning of September, it's these trees are turning yellow, turning gold, and making the forest become this jeweled crown over the moors. And to combine that with the heather, this place is just becoming so colorful, so vibrant, even though everything is on its way out. So we're just entering Scarthwood Moor National Trust. As you can see behind me, it's absolutely beautiful. I can only imagine how stunning this would be if there was some sun out right now. I believe the trail drops down and we start climbing back up again. Hopefully there's some fresh water down there. I believe there's a creek that I think we're going to have to fill up, and then we'll look for something up on top to camp tonight. It's a little early, but there's not too many people out and about today, so hopefully if we pitch up a little earlier than we should be all right. So we're climbing through this dead still, feels slightly unnatural forest of lodgepole pines. I think that's what they are. And it's dead silent, like there's no bird song or maybe one bird song, but nothing else going on through here. It feels kind of strange and empty. Quite haunting, really. Just sort of imagine if this place had some mist coming through it, shrouding the treetops and the trunks, how eerie it would feel. Okay, I might look like a complete idiot or a superhero with just hanging off my back. I just was getting too warm to wear my raincoat. This rain is getting more and more incessant. Not doing so great mentally. Definitely struggling, and we apparently took the wrong turn somewhere. I know which one it was, but it wasn't signposted, which makes it very difficult. It's one of the few that wasn't signposted, and even looking at the map, it looked like it was this logging track, so we're going to backtrack about a quarter of a mile, and hopefully we'll figure out which is the right one at that point. So yeah, a little frustrated, a little on edge right now, and just wanted to be off this trail. I'm hoping that I feel better about it when the rain stops in the next couple of days. Wasn't regretting doing this earlier, but starting to regret it now. So I have absolutely no idea if I'm on the right trail. There's absolutely no signage back there, and I have a feeling it has a lot to do with these forestry operations that potentially in the process of widening roads and getting things out, the sign is no longer there. So I'm only guessing I'm on the right trail because even though it looked further out, it's the only possible option on the map. It also has footprints on it, and that's always a good sign. However, it did look like it was on the level, and this one's very definitely not on the level and has to keep going up. So, well, I guess we'll find out. At least it's going in the general right direction. Well, apparently that wasn't the right turn either. Saw bike tracks, I saw footprints. No wonder there's no signage. I think I know where I went wrong. But again, I don't remember there being a little acorn sign. But I think I was also distracted by somebody who stopped to talk to me at that point, asked me about the dog packs, and ended up walking one of these forestry roads. So pretty sure I figured out where I'm at now, because we're about to end up on top again and walk out onto open moorland. And I think I've located the farm down here that we're supposed to be going at, and if we just follow this back down, we should end up back into it. I don't think I have ever been so happy to see something in my life. I do know where I went wrong, because I just came by out of the trail or past the trail of where we should have been. And also just past a really cool log campsite, but I don't know that we're going to be able to stay here. Alright, I'm not a huge fan of going through fields with cows in them, but this guy is the cutest thing ever. Oh, he's getting a little too curious now. Oh, so to give you an idea, that open ground up there was where we went to, and that was the wrong way. We also followed the road along that second line of trees there, the upper set of trees. What we should have been doing, basically following all the way on the bottom. So a lot more climbing, a lot more walking than I really had planned on doing. So we've now filled up, got 4 liters of water again. It's heavy, even more so after doing excessive miles and feeling really demoralized. Of course, all that stuff, all those mistakes, all those wrong turns, it was raining, and that doesn't help. And to top it all off, I got a headache, which is kicking my butt. I'm not sure if this is a caffeine withdrawal headache. I don't usually get them. I'm on the second day, maybe by the third day I'm feeling it, but this is definitely a bit of a struggle. But because we're holding the weather right now, I want to do as many miles as I can today, even with the weight and the headache, because tomorrow I know is supposed to be even worse than today. So hopefully if we get up on top, then maybe we'll find something up there. It seems like a decent evening to be able to camp up top on the moorland. So we were definitely running low on time, but we found this spot. It's a little bit more public than I'd like it to be, but we sort of waited till about 7:30 to put the tent up. Isn't that epic? So we're off the trail, or a trail. This isn't actually the cleanest way along here, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Just be up early, which was my plan anyway. But I'm gonna sit down, enjoy dinner. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, please consider hitting that subscribe button.